Welcome to Sandscrest. We are doing a series of 6 short art history lessons to go with Lent. Each week there will be an image and I will talk briefly about it. Probably we should think about why should we bother looking at these old paintings. What do they mean to those of us who are Christians now in the 21st century and full of COVID and all the angst that has brought to us? The history, of course, is that these were made for the glory of God. And they were made in a time when people like you and I couldn't read for ourselves. And so these would tell the stories visually. The stories of Christ and his work in the world, and then the work to prepare for what's after this world. But maybe more importantly is that art making, and art viewing bring us closer to the experience of the other, of God. Art nudges us to the world of wonder and awe, and to the thin places between this world and the other, this world and God, so we feel his presence more strongly. This image is by Quentin Matsys, and it's called Jesus Chasing the Merchants from the Temple. We are in the 3rd week of Lent, and this is one of the stories that we are often told and retold at this time during Lent. Matsys was the Flemish master of the 16th century and was known for his caricature painting and satirical commentary. In this painting, Jesus Chasing the Merchants from the Temple, we see his caricatural style shine. Each person in this image has a unique expression, even the lamb being carried away in the center of the scene. Matsys was not one for flattery. The faces of some of the merchants border on grotesque, though not all. He is careful to maintain these as human faces, ones we can identify with and that we can see ourselves in. The scene includes the range of characters noted in the gospel story. Christ is in the center, driving out the merchants with his rope whip. 3 merchants receiving blows. One of them, perhaps, is a money changer. He lies on the ground, his table flipped, his coins scattered. Another merchant is just making his escape with a lamb on his back, while the most grotesque one, on the left, is trying to get away with his goods under his arms. In the back left, 3 distinguished-looking men observe. These are perhaps the Jewish leaders who debate with Christ about the temple in John's Gospel. To the right of the scene are 3 additional onlookers, one more merchant partially concealed by a sack, a seated figure, and a temple goer whom we see in profile. The setting evokes the idea of the temple, but in fact it is a high Gothic church, contemporary to the artist's time. Perhaps the Cathedral of Antwerp, the town where the artist was most active. Likewise, the colorful clothes each character wears tells us that Matsys set the scene not in the temple of the 1st century Jerusalem, but in his own 16th century. This is a not-so-subtle satirical commentary, suggesting that perhaps the church at his time needed Jesus' cleansing. Yet through the use of thoroughly human faces, it is not just the people of Matz's time that needed repentance and purification. The image invites us to see ourselves in it as well, to see and acknowledge honestly those areas of our lives needing a major cleaning. The variety of faces offers several entry points for us. The person on the ground, the one escaping, the one looking on, the one hiding, the one at a critical distance. Where do we find ourselves in this image? That's our look at art this week, and next week, the fourth week of Lent, we will have another.